All right, everybody. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Depends where you are in the world. It's 3 o'clock for me here on the Puerto Rico time. It's East Coast time now, actually. But I'm very excited to be here today. What I'm going to do today is typical fashion of my coaching. I'm going to have it open mic a little bit. If you have any questions, anything you want me to work with, any role play, objection handling, that kind of stuff. And then as a content topic today, I'm going to talk about Google business pages. So basically your business as a Google representative, the number of searches on Google now are in the 90% ranges. If you remember back 15 years ago, if you were in business, online searches started creeping up. They were at 30%, 40, 50, 60, 70, and all of a sudden they were in the 90s of every search started online. Now that is almost 100%. It's like in the very, very high 90s. Well, Google Your Business is looking like the same thing now. When people are looking for agents, they're going to Google. And by putting yourself out there as an entity, you're going to see that there's a lot of value in having that on your Google page. So, hey, Hal Byrd, she's got the coolest last name of anybody on this recording, just so you know. But anyway, we saw each other in Vegas, so that was awesome at EXPCon. So when we look at this particular segment of Google, it's really, really important that you have an identity that is there that you can see. And it's called your Google business profile. And common misunderstanding is, well, you don't have a business, you don't have an office, that you can't have this Google business profile, but you can. And you could have it just for yourself, right? So it could be Patrick Hake, Google My Business, and it could be either your team name, it could be anything you want it to be. And then you could have a location. You have to have a location. That's the one thing. You can't have a PO box. So you have to put your home a lot of times. And agents don't like doing that. But if you have a location you can claim as your address, like Brent Gove's location, or even I did Regis when I was in Santa Rosa, and I didn't rent an office at Regis. I just used that address. And I told the front desk to say, hey, if you get some kind of piece of mail for me that's verifying that, can you get it to me? And they had a PO box type system there. So I got the mail. I sent it back saying this is my address, and that was my work address. It was at the Regis office in Santa Rosa. So that can become your business profile office location. You can use Regis. You could use another agent's office if they give you the permission to do so, if you want to keep it out of your home address, right? My home address is everywhere anyway for some reason, but I don't like having all my business stuff being on my home address. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to kind of walk you through some components today, and then we'll have time to ask questions at the end, but you're welcome. It's a small group. You could raise your hand, ask questions along the way. You might have to speak up because I'm on my laptop, and when I share my screen, I might not see you. So I'm not ignoring you. But let's go to that page so you can see what I'm looking at. Okay, so I can still see you in my side here, so we're good. All right, so when you're looking at your Google business profile, right, we're going to talk about today turning your Google business profile into a lead gen machine. And this was a recent article by Jimmy Burgess, which does a good job. So basically, Google My Business, right? When you look at it, it's not a matter of your prospective clients will Google you, but rather what they will find when they do Google you, right? Because they are going to do that. They're going to Google your name or your EXP name or your team name or whatever. This gives you the ability to control the digital narrative. And that's what this is important to understand. When you optimize your profile and start getting reviews and have an office location or have some kind of professional identity there, you could actually produce a lot of leads for free. And then there's a way to add leads for a cost as well. So we're going to talk about both of those, but we're going to focus on free. Free is awesome, right? Real quick show of hands. Who has a Google business profile currently? Okay, good. A good portion of you. So it's important that you go audit that as well. Look at that, make sure it looks good, make sure you have good reviews and all those things on there that are important. So as we get started, what the Google profile is basically, it's like a Zillow profile, or it's an identifier to you, but it's a business profile as a real estate agent, right? So we're going to kind of walk you through it step by step. And, the first thing to do is business name. You want to make it stand out. You can use your own name. You have to, in California specifically, you have to file a fictitious business name if you're going to use something that's other than your name. But if it's your last name, Hake Real Estate, something like that. Mine's Byrd House, and I had to separate the Byrd and the house to make it compliant because my last name's not Byrd House. My last name is Byrd. So by separating it, Byrd House Construction, Byrd House Real Estate, it becomes compliant. And if you use your last name, you typically don't need to use a fictitious business name. You always want to ask your broker. It's different in all 50 states. So check into this. But the bottom line is find a name that kind of stands out for you, right? And for instance, he put in here Jane or John Doe would be fine if that was your real name. But John Doe, Baltimore Realtor, clearly indicates who you are, what you do, and your service area you serve. So the more clarity that you bring, the better your results are going to be, right? So if your Google profile is just Patrick Hake, I'm using you because you're at the top of my screen. It'd be better to have Patrick Hake, Loomis Real Estate Broker, or Sacramento Real Estate Broker, or something along those lines, because it's going to be an identifier to help you. All right.
Question on that, Randy.
Yeah.
How specific or how general? Like, I mean, county, because most people don't search counties when they're,
yeah, they don't usually search
but
counties. You want to just make sure your service area, because some areas like Loomis particularly, it's
Small.
known to be a greater Sacramento area potentially, or if you're in Elk Grove, you want to be specific to Elk Grove, but you could say Sacramento if you're willing to travel to that area.
Okay.
You don't want to be so micro as you limit yourself, right? Because for instance, Galt is a specific city. It might be a suburb of Lodi and some other suburbs.
Mhm.
But that's kind of an entity that's by itself, where you might have Sacramento, Roseville, Citrus Heights, all these things that kind of blend in together. You'd probably be better serving the Sacramento region or Sacramento Valley or something like that.
Okay.
Okay.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Business address and phone number, make it visibly made easy. You have to use a precise, accurate address or it won't work. PO boxes are not allowed. So make sure you enter your physical office address. This is the address Google Maps will utilize to show your business location. So that's important. I just told you, I just went on Google jail suspension because I had Birdhouse Development, which is my coaching and construction company, and Oregon Luxury Group at the same address. So because Google saw we had two businesses, the same address, it waxed them both and said they're both suspended until we could identify who's really there, right? So you could do yourself harm by thinking you're doing multiple businesses. You don't want to do that.
Hey, Randy.
Yes.
For people who are very private about their address, I got my Google business profile verified at my PO box at my PMB.
Right.
I kind of hacking the way that I use the address. So normally you have to put suite and then box number.
Right.
Put the number sign, the suite, and then hyphen your box number. They'll recognize it as an apartment. And that's how I verified my Google business to my private. So
I think that's a great workaround, but I think you got lucky, because if you Google that business address, it's going to show it's a mailbox and more or something like that. Then you'll remove your Google business. So it's you might have hacked it momentarily, but we did that. I gotten a PO box approved as well, because this particular PO box company had unit numbers for their PO box. So it was like 1107 Main Street, unit number 107, but it was actually a box 107. But when the Google updated by looking at the Google address, they saw it was a mailboxes and more, and they canceled it.
I was able to just
that's something I need to fix.
Something to consider. Well, again, you'd have to put a new address in there. They won't accept that if they catch it.
Okay.
Okay.
I was able to use my home address, but have it hidden and just put my service area.
Yeah, so you can write home addresses as well. But again, when the client's looking, your address is hidden.
Yeah. And so you say by having an address, it makes them more likely to consider it legitimate?
Well, let's just put it this way, Patrick. Let's say you're looking at these 5 agents on the call today.
Yeah.
And 2 have addresses that are blocked out or not available. and two have addresses that look okay, but one's this house, and the other one has this beautiful Regis building, for instance, right? Which
Uh-huh.
are you more likely to call?
Probably the one with more reviews.
Yeah, I think that's a great question. So I don't think the location's everything. It's just something along the way, right?
Yeah.
Reviews we're going to talk about, but reviews are a big, big piece of this. But again, because we have a relationship with Regis, that's an opportunity. You have relationships with Brent Gove and so on. I'm sure that he would let you use that address, and you could do those kind of things as well.
Okay.
Okay. All right. So, and then phone number, no brainer, right? Make sure your phone number's there. Business category details, choose how to choose and why it's critical. Google shared the primary business category is the #1 way that potential customers can utilize this search, right? So they want to look for you and find you by category as fast as possible. And then you could have a primary and a secondary category. So your primary is typically going to be real estate agent for this call, right? If I'm dealing with general contractors, plumbers, different things, obviously it's different. And then you could also do a secondary category if it affects you, like coaching, for instance. I could have that secondary category where somebody can find me from coaching and in real estate agent. Okay. Connecting your website drives organic traffic to where your prospects want to go. Again, most clients are browsing your business page to get to know who you are. They're looking you up. They're looking at your reviews and so on. If your website's there easily available, they'll click it, and that just gives you a whole nother possibility of capturing their information and plugging them into the systems that you're trying to be for lead capture and lead generation. All right. You could do it a couple different places. It talks about doing it on your About Me page or your Search for Properties page. Just make sure that if you're going to have these links there, that they're not immediately, and this is my preference, they're not immediately going to force registration. There's a setting on most of your websites, KV Core, Chime, all of them, that have when do they go to force registration. You can make it where it's so many seconds, it's so many property views, it's whatever it is. There's a real trend going towards no property registration. Matter of fact, I know several agents that do hundreds of transactions that have gone away with forced registration. It's not what people want. At the end of the day, it's not what people want. They don't want to have to put all their information in to get the details of the property. We've had that for years. We're probably going to be moving the direction of getting rid of it. My eyes were really opened with a team in Portland that is doing 300 deals a year, and he has no forced registration at all, period. And he makes no outgoing phone calls. That's the reason that you'd have forced registration, is to call them. Hey, I noticed you came on my website and I want to, solicit you and hound you forever until you buy a house. If you're doing a great job on your profile and on the other things that are important, I think that could be a significant opportunity for you to have people calling you, right? It takes longer because they're getting to know, like, and trust you. But I'm not against the forced registration, but if you do it, again, my personality, my personal belief is you want to give them a lot of value before you force that registration. You want to maybe allow them to see 6 or 8 or 10 houses, or be on the site for 4 minutes, 3 minutes, 5 minutes, whatever it is, before you go to forced registration. But if you have your site there and it immediately goes to forced registration before you can go anywhere, you're likely going to have a high opt-out of that. Okay. So gathering reviews, boost your credibility and trust factor. This is a big, big one with Google. And the cool thing about Google is totally different than Realtor.com, Zillow.com, and all those others. You don't have to be a licensed agent to give a review. You don't even have to have bought or sold. They could give you a review based on your attitude, about how good you coach basketball, anything. And it's up to them of what they put in it. So what's cool about this is you look at this, reviews are the critically important thing that are, the valuable part to a consumer. In 2023, they found that 91% of 18 to 34-year-olds trust online reviews as much as a personal recommendation. 91%. So all of a sudden, your reviews are critical. It's like having, 50 good friends out there talking about real estate and what you could do to benefit in real estate. So Google survey also tells us that 3 of the most important factors to searches are the number of reviews, the quality of reviews, and the keywords used in the reviews. Now, a lot of you may not have even understood that keywords are a big part of the reviews, right? How you can search for these things. The reviews on your page give potential customers the ability to see others have chosen to do business with you and why. And if they had good experiences, the higher numbers of reviews and stars are the better, right? If you get a bad review, don't panic. It's very difficult to have it removed, but you can bury it with good ones. So if you do happen to get a bad review, 1, 2 stars, something like that, you could bury it with good reviews and make it where it's not as valuable. If you have 50 reviews and you have nothing but 5-star reviews, that's incredible. But it almost starts getting into like an unbelievable factor, right? Sometimes it's okay to have a couple reviews that are, not scathing, but they're feedback. He didn't call me back as fast as he should have, or, we didn't like the inspection, whatever it is. That's going to lend to that really humanality of reviews to say, hey, this is a good guy. He's got 47 great reviews and 3 people that didn't like him. That's a good odd, right? So don't get panicked and don't, get depressed if you get a bad review. I remember my first 1-star Zillow review like it was yesterday. So it does have an effect on us. And it was a lady that was complete BS. I did a good job for her, but because I had a team and I leveraged my team to go show the properties and do all the things, I was not there all the times that she thought I should be. I had a large team doing a lot of transactions. She gave me a 1-star review saying that Mike, the guy that went out, did a crappy job and wasn't me, and that she would have never hired me if she was hiring Mike, so it was really more about Mike than it was me. Mike is now passed, so I won't say his last name. He passed away a couple of years ago, but he was a buyer's agent on my team, and I think he did a great job, but he's not me. He doesn't talk the same way. He didn't show up on time like I do. He didn't have the ability to communicate the way I do. And so she gave me a 1-star review for that, and that hurt my feelings. I called her and she's like, yeah, deal with it, and I tried to get it removed. They don't remove those things, right? It's really important. So one of the things I will tell you, one of the most powerful things I've done in my review asking career is to pre-warn them that they're going to get a review request, and please give me a 5-star review or nothing. I just say, hey, you're totally entitled not to give me a 5-star review, but if I didn't earn a 5-star review, I'd like to earn it. Tell me what I need to do to earn it, and I'll do anything you like, because that's super important to me. Because if you give me a 2, 3, or a 1, just trying to be honest, it's going to affect my business significantly, which affects my family, which affects everything. So with all due respect, if I haven't earned a 5, please let me know what I can do to earn a 5 before you give me a review. And that's a powerful statement. And I've got nothing but 5 stars ever since then. And if you're not really clear, you have to be careful. Because I had somebody give me a 5 on Zillow, but when they break it down, there's 5 other sections. She gave me a 4 and a 3 and a 5, because that was her honest opinion. But I didn't have that deep conversation with her to say, all these different levels and layers all equal the same thing. Please give me a 5 in all of them, or tell me what I could do to earn your business to be a 5, right? And if they say, hey, you haven't really earned my business to be a 5, you're 3. Okay, thank you, Hal. I don't need your review. I appreciate you. Or please don't give me a review. Please keep it to yourself, right? So, luckily, Google makes it easy for you to get reviews, and you can easily provide a shareable link with your profile and connect directly to them. Keep in mind that other like real estate sites like Realtor and Zillow, reviewers do not need to be buyers and sellers to leave your review. This is a big deal. You can make it easy to have your service providers you've worked with, friends that like you, people in your sphere of influence leave reviews. Now, many of you maybe have not sold 100 homes in your career, but I guarantee you know 100 people. And so if you're purposeful about this, you can get 100 reviews on your profile by simply sending them a link and having a really easy conversation with them. It's really powerful. And Google is becoming the #1 search engine, even above Zillow and some of these other profiles. So it's a really, really nice way to do it. Okay. Business hours. This is up to you how you do this. Some choose to say they're open 24 hours, but you have to be available 24 hours. So that's not true. So I would not suggest putting 24 hours, even if you're ambitious, right? I would suggest you put down something like your true schedule of hours of when you're available to take a phone call. Like Angel, when are you available to take a phone call from anybody?
Probably until 9 o'clock at night.
Okay. And then what time in the morning?
8 a.m.
Okay, perfect. That's what you should put in your profile. 5 days a week, 6 days a week, 7 days a week, whatever you want it to be. I'm an early bird, so mine says 7 a.m. I will answer at 7 a.m. But after 4, I don't want to talk to anybody. So my hours are 7 to 4 or 7 to 5, right? I really don't want to talk to somebody at 9 o'clock at night. And I'm a professional. And this is nothing about you, Angel. It's just my style, right? So everybody's different. Just don't put 24 hours if you're not available 24 hours, which is kind of impossible unless you have a call service and a VA and blah, 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 right? Okay, the set appointment tab, it's really pretty powerful. You could direct leads directly to you to book an appointment. One of the easiest ways to do it is through a Calendly link. So you could have a Calendly link. You could have people book appointments directly into your calendar for buyers or showing consultations. Really powerful, very easy to do. And there's other opportunities with the calendars also, but I like Calendly. I don't remember the cost, but it's so valuable. It doesn't matter. I love it. I have 6 different calendars. So 6 different calendars with different times, and you can be quite creative with Calendly. Okay. You could also share that link very easy. And if you put that link into your Google page, having somebody book an appointment with you, just a 15-minute exploratory appointment, is a big, powerful thing. All right. Business description, introduce yourself and build connections. This is a really powerful one. You're only allowed 750 characters, which is quite a bit for a bio, but like my bio could be 2,000 words long or characters long. Keep in mind that 244 characters is the cutoff, meaning that when you see the profile, you're only going to see 244 characters. They can click more and see the rest of your 750. So you want the sizzle to be in that 244 characters in the beginning. You don't want to have like, hi, I love Sacramento, blah, 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 and then get into the meat and potatoes of what you're really, really good at, military background, or you love working with first-time home buyers or whatever, and have it buried into your Zillow. You want it up in, or in the profile. You want it up in the top. Okay. Years in business, showcase your experience and expertise. Google asks for your start date of your business. This will show up in your profile as the number of years in business. For agents who have been in the business for more than 5 years, this is a great place to show your experience. If you're brand new, you might not want to show it. You know, it's just up to you. If you're new in the business, you've been in 6 months, you might not want to put that. If you've been doing flips for 3 years and now you've got your license and you've been doing that, I believe it's integral to say that you've been in the business for that number of years, 3.5 or 4, or whatever it is. And then you could have in your profile, I've been flipping for 3 years and I've been licensed for 1, or whatever you want. But it's an area that you can highlight it if you've been in the business a long time. Some of us, I've been in the business 20 years now. You know, at some point it gets to be where like, okay, it's too much, right? You don't want to put it, you've been in the business 39 years sometimes. But the reality is it's a valuable attribute to put in how long you've been in the business. Unique opportunity to connect deeper, you know, having a video posted into your profile, selecting all the things that you do. If you're handling military, VA, first-time home buyers and investments, whatever it is, all those searches will give you more, more opportunities to get people to look at those eyeballs, right? And an example is veteran-owned business. I'm a veteran-owned business. I want to highlight that in my profile and have it be one of the first things that they see. Veteran-owned businesses do tend to get, you know, some appreciation and some love, right? Okay. Sorry for my sinuses and allergies today and stuff. Engage and provide unmatched value. The question and answer portion of the page is often overlooked due to people not realizing you can ask your own question and answer your own question. But this is a great way to have maybe 10 or 12 or 20 Q&A about you, about what you do, what do people do, like, you know, in this area? What do people do that move to Sacramento? What do people do that are moving out of Sacramento? You could have this Q&A that engages them a lot more, and it's a big opportunity for you. All right. Adding photos is another very effective way to increase engagement and add depth to your page. Photos must be 1024 by 576 and can't be bigger than 5 megabytes. So those are the kind of the criteria to make sure you follow. And by the way, this is my blog. You'll have access to it on my site if you want to go look at it. We just posted this blog, so you can go back and review this information. And then again, posts are super important because posts are going to be the thing that are allowing you to come in and have consistency in your profile. So if you have posts on a regular basis to your social media profile, your content and the viewers are going to understand better about who you are and what you represent. And the consistency is what makes it sticky to people. Also, Google will see that you're active and they will start changing your algorithm. They'll put your most engaged post in front of other social media profiles, and your Google business profile will also get a boost, right? So posting at least once a week is suggested, and the more consistent you are, the more attractive your page is to prospective clients. So I think that's a big opportunity within your profiles. Okay. And again, your business profile is the way for you to tell your story and the way you want it to be told. So you can have all the reviews you want on there. It's not like Zillow, Realtor.com, very powerful. So take advantage of these free tools and take your business to the next level. Okay. So that's it for that. Any questions I can help you with or answer today as we kind of wrap up? Nothing? So y'all going to go back and spruce up your Google business profiles now that you've heard this and how powerful that could be. And by the way, this is free information, right?
When you scrolling through mine while you've been talking.
Good. Yeah, it's powerful when you look at the amount of traffic Google's getting, and you can have, literally a free profile, and you could promote this profile through links and social media and all kinds of different things. And the big thing is getting likes and comments on it, including your website. It can be really powerful for free. And so it's sweat equity and not check equity. Check equity would be doing Google AdWords and putting dollars behind bringing your Google profile up to the surface, which is very powerful as well. But again, you could do a lot of this stuff for free.
I went through a RealGrader in May, and I feel like they helped me a lot. Actually, the week after I finished with RealGrader, I got a call for a listing because one of my past clients recommended me in a Facebook group, and she got 7 realtor recommendations, and she liked the reviews that I had the best.
I love it.
And so, but even some of these tweaks that I'm going to be implementing, like changing my hours from 24 hours, and I'm going to be posting more. I'm going to have my social media guy actually put all of our social posts over onto Google and treat it like it's a social platform.
I love it. I love that. I got a question. Hey, Randy, can we get this deck as an email so we can go through it? No, but I have it available for you. Just go to my site and look for my blog, and you'll have this whole article. And if you can't find it, you can message Nikita, Team Byrd Nikita, and I will get it for you. Okay.
Hey, Randy, that was me asking that. Thank you for that. So where you just say exactly where to go?
Yes, I will.
Your site, your blog.
I'll put it in here. So if you go to the birdhouse.team, right? That's my main site, birdhouse.team. And in that, you'll see all of our content and stuff, but I'm going to try and post this in for you.
That would be great, because this is wonderful info.
Yeah, it is. It's really good. And the big thing is I like it. It's free.
Yeah, always good.
Right. We love free.
Hey, Randy, I have a quick question.
Yeah.
I was a little late to the party here because I just saw the email come through, but
No problem.
Did you say that you would use your Google My Business like you would use a Facebook or an Instagram by post or business?
Did you say that again? It broke up a little bit.
I'm sorry. Would you use your Google My Business and post some of your personal stuff on there too, or would you just use it strictly for business?
So good question. I believe with anything in real estate, you should have a blend. Now, on a business page, whether it's Facebook page or Google page, you want to have limited personal, but people want to get to know, like, and trust you. So adding some personal things, that's not drinking at the concert. That's out with my kids. I'm donating stuff at this. I'm doing things that are my personal life as they lend to business. I think that's
okay.
yeah, I think that's very appreciated by people. And again, it's about know, like, and trust. And so you could do that more with some personal things along the way.
I will have
Oh,
to say, I
well-
second her that I got Real Grader too after shareholders, and it made a huge difference. And so we post every single day. We put photos and blog posts up every day, and it's made a huge difference in our business.
Exactly. It does help. I think we had a little mistake in the time today. It looks like the email said 12:30, and my apologies.
30. Yeah.
Did you say 12:30 for my call? And I'm just checking. I think that's what happened. I know we had a good training today, and we'll post this on
You'll
the
probably get a couple of our teammates trying to get in at 12:32.
yeah. So we posted in. It looks like my assistant maybe put it out the wrong time today. My apologies. But we will post the recording in our workplace group, and also I think it's on our site as well under trainings. Okay. And if anybody wants a copy of it, because it is good, and we'll I included the blog right there in the chat. So if you want to click on that, you can see the blog that we just went over today and go over that yourself. It's a great blog. Jimmy Burgess does a good job with that. But I think this is one of the things that are one of the most valuable because it's free. And so make sure you go back and edit and look at your Google pages, make sure they're right. Okay. All right. Well,
good.
if you came on late, I apologize. It was an incredible call today. Of course, you missed it, but you can go back and listen to it with that link there, or you can go back and watch the content. And if you want the recording, just message us, Team Byrd Nikita, and she'll send it over to you. Okay,
Excellent.
everybody.
Thank you.
Thanks, Randy.
Appreciate you being here.
Sandy.
Thank you so much. Appreciate it.
Thanks.
All right. Bye for now.